What if I told you the most valuable thing in your life might not be in a bank, but buried in plain sight? Around the world, people are unknowingly walking past gemstones worth millions of dollars, mistaking them for useless rocks. Some of these stones were thrown away, others were found by accident, and a few changed lives forever. Stay with me because by the end of this video you may never look at a stone the same way again. The truth is uncomfortable, so let's start there. Right now, someone on this planet is holding a stone worth millions of dollars, and they have absolutely no idea. It's not locked in a vault. It's not behind museum glass. It's hidden in plain sight, mistaken for an ordinary green crystal, sometimes even thrown away. And here's the unsettling question you should ask yourself before this video ends. What if that stone has already passed through your hands? Pause for a second. Think about it. Because today we're uncovering one of the most misunderstood, underestimated, and quietly powerful gemstones on Earth, rare forsterite, the elite peridot variety that serious collectors and high-level buyers are aggressively hunting right now. Now let me say this clearly and confidently. This is not a fantasy story. This is not internet hype. This is mineral reality backed by geology, global demand, and private markets most people never get access to. Forsterite is the purest magnesium-rich form of olivine, and when it reaches gem-quality transparency, saturation, and size, it transforms into something far beyond peridot. It becomes a financial asset, a legacy stone, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And if your heart just beat a little faster, that's not excitement. That's instinct waking up. Here's where fear quietly enters the picture. Every year, priceless stones are misidentified, undersold, or permanently lost because people don't recognize what they're holding. Imagine unknowingly selling a raw crystal for a few dollars that could have changed your entire life. Painful, right? Slightly terrifying? Good, because fear sharpens focus. And focus is exactly what separates those who miss opportunities from those who seize them. Act 1 begins with ignorance, not stupidity but lack of exposure. For centuries, forsterite has existed deep within Earth's mantle, forged under extreme pressure and heat. It surfaces through volcanic activity, meteorite impacts, and rare geological conditions that almost never align perfectly. That's why large, flawless specimens are extraordinarily scarce. Most people only know commercial peridot, the jewelry store version. But elite-grade forsterite? That's a different universe entirely. That's the stone serious investors whisper about. That's the gem that doesn't sit in shop windows because it moves privately, discreetly, and fast. And here's a quick pattern interrupt. Be honest, when you hear peridot, do you picture a cheap August birthstone ring? Congratulations. That misconception is exactly why fortunes are missed. High-end forsterite doesn't advertise itself. It doesn't scream value. It waits for the trained eye, the patient holder, the person who understands timing. And timing, right now, is everything. Act 2 is where excitement takes over. Demand for rare, untreated, high-purity gemstones is exploding. Wealth is shifting. Buyers are moving away from volatile assets and into tangible, finite resources. Stones that cannot be manufactured, cannot be duplicated, cannot be replaced. Forsterite sits in a very exclusive category because of its crystal chemistry, brilliance, and metaphysical reputation for vitality, clarity, and renewal. Yes, even elite buyers care about that, especially those living high-performance lifestyles who believe wealth and health are deeply connected. Collectors aren't just buying beauty. They're buying meaning. They're buying energy. They're buying something ancient that has survived millions of years just to exist in the present moment. And when forsterite reaches exceptional size and clarity, prices don't climb, they leap. Private valuations in the millions are not unusual when provenance, cut potential, and purity align. And no, these stones don't sit on public auction websites. They move quietly through experts, brokers, and trusted channels. Let me ask you a slightly uncomfortable question. What is more dangerous? Not owning a rare asset, or owning one and not knowing its true value? Exactly. Knowledge isn't just power. Knowledge is protection. Now notice how everything connects. Scarcity fuels demand. Demand fuels urgency. Urgency fuels value, and value rewards those who move decisively. This is not about greed. This is about awareness, about respecting what the earth has produced and positioning yourself intelligently in a market that rewards patience and confidence. Act 3 is where urgency becomes unavoidable, because the window does not stay open forever. Geological sources are finite, mining regulations are tightening, and as education spreads, misidentified forsterite becomes harder to find. The early advantage belongs to those who learn first, act smart, and refuse to rush into bad decisions. This is not a sell tomorrow stone. This is a verify, protect, and position stone. And those who do it right don't just change their finances, they change their trajectory. Here's another pattern interrupt. Quick reality check. If this stone were easy to find, you wouldn't be watching this video. And if it were common, million-dollar buyers wouldn't be chasing it. Scarcity is the signal. Always has been. And let's talk lifestyle because this matters. People who operate at high levels understand balance. They protect their health as fiercely as their wealth. Forsterite has long been associated with renewal, strength, and mental clarity, qualities that resonate deeply with individuals building long-term success. Whether you believe in the energetic side or not, the symbolism alone adds to its allure. This is a stone that represents alignment between opportunity and readiness. So here's where everything comes together. Rare forsterite is not just a gemstone. It's a test of patience, a test of perception, a test of whether you recognize value before the crowd does. The fear of missing out is real, but the confidence of being prepared is stronger. Those who win in this space don't panic. They educate themselves. They seek verification. They move with intention. If you're holding something green, transparent, unusually heavy for its size, with exceptional clarity or crystal structure, don't rush. Don't brag. And absolutely don't undersell. The smartest move is the calm move, because calm is what million-dollar decisions feel like. And finally, remember this: the earth doesn't create many second chances. When it delivers something rare, it does so quietly. Whether you recognize it or not determines the story you tell later. The question isn't whether rare forsterite is valuable. The market has already answered that. The real question is, are you ready to recognize opportunity when it shows up disguised as something ordinary? Stay aware. Stay healthy. Stay prepared. Because hidden value always reveals itself to those who are ready to see it. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. They told you it was just another dark, boring stone. Something ordinary. Something forgettable. But what if I told you that right now, somewhere in the world, people are unknowingly stepping over a gemstone so rare, so powerful, that collectors quietly pay millions for it? Pause for a second. Look at your screen, because what you are about to hear could permanently change how you look at rocks and money, and opportunity itself. This is not a fantasy. This is not a rumor. This is the hidden world of gonite, one of the most undervalued and misunderstood rare gemstones on Earth. And the truth is, fear has kept most people ignorant of it, while a small, informed group has turned knowledge into life-changing wealth. The question is simple: which group are you in? Let's begin where every great discovery begins, with what others failed to see. Act 1 starts with a simple idea that makes people uncomfortable. The biggest fortunes are not found where everyone is looking. They are found where people stopped paying attention. Gonite, also known as zinc spinel, does not sparkle like a diamond at first glance. It does not scream for attention. It waits, hidden inside unremarkable host rocks, riverbeds, pegmatites, and forgotten mineral zones. Gonite quietly carries a reputation that only serious gem traders truly understand. And here's the ironic part: if you showed it to 10 random people, 9 would ignore it. That's exactly why it's valuable. Let me ask you something, and be honest. How many life-changing opportunities have you already walked past simply because they didn't look impressive at first? Exactly. That uncomfortable laugh you just made? That's your intuition waking up. Gonite is rare not because the earth couldn't make more of it, but because nature hid it well. High zinc concentration, extreme geological pressure, and very specific formation conditions created a gemstone that is scarce by design. That scarcity fuels demand. Demand fuels value, and value, when aligned with timing, creates wealth. This is why serious collectors, private buyers, and high-end gemstone investors quietly compete for high-quality gonite specimens. They don't advertise it. They acquire it. Here's where excitement begins to replace doubt. Because once gonite is properly identified, cut, and certified, its market value changes dramatically. Deep green, blue-green, or nearly black transparent crystals with strong luster are especially sought after. The finest specimens are not traded on public marketplaces. They move through private deals, whisper networks, invitation-only transactions. And yes, some of those stones sell for prices that most people would never associate with something once dismissed as just a rock. Right now, demand for rare, investment-grade gemstones is rising globally. Why? Because intelligent investors are diversifying away from fragile systems and into tangible assets. Assets you can hold. Assets that don't depend on governments, algorithms, or market moods. Rare gemstones, especially ones with limited supply like gonite, fit perfectly into this new era of smart wealth preservation. And here's the part most people don't realize until it's too late. Once the broader market catches on, the entry point disappears. Prices don't rise gradually. They jump, suddenly, permanently, and those who hesitated are left watching others profit from what they once overlooked. Quick reality check. What do you think sounds more stressful? Taking action while opportunity is quiet, or realizing 5 years from now that you were standing on value you never claimed? Exactly. Fear works both ways. One kind protects you, the other keeps you small. Now let's reset your attention for a moment. Imagine explaining to your future self why you ignored this. I didn't act because it didn't shine enough. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Yet that's how most people miss rare opportunities. Gonite is not about hype. It is about positioning. Those who understand it focus on verification, expert evaluation, and strategic selling channels. They move with patience, clarity, and confidence. They treat their bodies and minds like assets too, because clear thinking comes from a healthy lifestyle. Energy, discipline, and awareness are not luxuries, they are advantages. You cannot spot opportunity if your mind is constantly distracted or depleted. The final truth is this: gonite represents more than a gemstone. It represents a mindset. The mindset of people who see value before it becomes obvious, who move while others doubt, who stay calm while others chase noise. Whether you already possess rare stones or are learning how to identify them, your advantage grows with knowledge and timing. This is a moment of alignment. Knowledge is available. Demand is real. Supply is limited. And the window, while still open, is narrowing. Those who act with intelligence and integrity position themselves not just for financial gain, but for long-term stability and freedom. Let me leave you with one final thought. Every era rewards a certain type of person. Not the loudest, not the fastest, but the most aware. Gonite does not shout. It waits to be recognized. Just like opportunity, just like growth, just like the next level of your life. Stay curious, stay healthy, stay ahead, because the rarest discoveries are never found by those who stop looking. And now that you see it, you can never unsee it. Imagine walking past an ordinary-looking green stone, brushing it aside without a second thought, and unknowingly stepping over something that collectors, private buyers, and elite gemstone investors would pay millions of dollars to own. This is not a fantasy, not a rumor, and definitely not a YouTube myth. This is gaspeite, one of the rarest gemstones on Earth, and most people don't even know it exists. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could completely change how you look at stones, wealth, and opportunity forever. Let's be honest for a moment. How many times have you seen a green rock and thought, that's probably nothing? Exactly. And that assumption is why fortunes are missed every single day. Gaspeite doesn't scream for attention. It doesn't sparkle loudly like diamonds. It waits quietly for the informed eye. And here's the shocking part. By the time most people learn its name, the best specimens are already locked away in private vaults, museums, and high-value collections. If scarcity creates value, then gaspeite sits at the very top of the gemstone hierarchy. Act 1 begins with ignorance, and that's not an insult, it's reality. Gaspeite was discovered in extremely limited locations, with commercial mining virtually non-existent today. This gemstone is not flooding the market. It is disappearing from it. That single fact alone is why elite buyers are paying extraordinary prices for authentic, high-grade material. And yes, when quality, color saturation, and size align, valuations reach into the millions. Now pause for a second. Doesn't it feel unsettling knowing something this valuable could be hiding in plain sight? That uneasy feeling you're experiencing right now, that's fear mixed with opportunity. Here's a quick attention reset. If gaspeite were a person, it wouldn't be loud or flashy. It would be the quiet individual at the back of the room who secretly owns the building. Funny how that works, right? The world rewards those who understand rarity, not noise. As we move into Act 2, the story shifts from discovery to demand. Gaspeite is not just rare, it is highly demanded. High-end jewelry designers, gemstone collectors, and alternative asset investors are aggressively searching for verified specimens. Why? Because wealthy markets are changing. Smart money is moving beyond traditional assets into tangible rarity. Gemstones like gaspeite are portable wealth, private wealth, and global wealth. They don't depend on stock markets, banks, or borders. That alone makes them powerful. And power attracts demand. Now let's talk urgency, because time is not on your side here. The supply of authentic gaspeite is finite. No new large-scale sources are coming online. Every year, more pieces disappear into long-term collections. That means prices don't just rise, they accelerate. Waiting is not neutral. Waiting is expensive. The people who hesitate are the same ones who later say, "I wish I knew earlier." You do not want to be that person watching someone else sell what you once held. And here's another pattern interrupt. Quick question. When was the last time an opportunity worth millions politely knocked twice? Exactly. It doesn't. It whispers once, then moves on. Act 2 also reveals something deeper. Gaspeite isn't just about money. It represents a healthier mindset. People drawn to rare gemstones often value patience, clarity, and long-term thinking. This stone is associated with balance, grounded decision-making, and confidence, qualities that successful sellers and investors share. When your mind is calm, your decisions are powerful. When your lifestyle is aligned, your wealth follows. This isn't luck. It's alignment. As we enter Act 3, everything connects. Knowledge becomes action. Fear turns into focus. Excitement becomes strategy. If you already possess gaspeite, your responsibility is clear: authentication, protection, and intelligent positioning. This is not something you rush to sell cheaply or expose carelessly. High-value buyers move quietly. Serious money prefers discretion. And those who understand this world don't chase markets. They attract them. If you don't own gaspeite yet, understand this. Awareness is your advantage. The moment you recognize what others overlook, you've already stepped ahead. Every expert was once a beginner who paid attention. Every millionaire asset holder once held something they almost ignored. The difference is they acted before the crowd arrived. Here's the final truth, and it's powerful. Gaspeite doesn't need hype. It doesn't need exaggeration. Its rarity, demand, and value speak for themselves. The only question left is not whether this gemstone is worth millions. The real question is whether you are ready to treat opportunity seriously when it appears quietly, disguised as something ordinary. Because the world doesn't reward those who see everything. It rewards those who recognize what matters. And now that you know, you can never unknow it.